Hola and welcome back to these review videos. This one is dealing with el imperfecto, el otro pasado, let's say. So we just went over the preterite, and we know that the preterite is what's used to describe the past tense, but funny enough, there is another way in Spanish to talk about the past, which is called el imperfecto, the imperfect. So what I want to do is basically set up the kind of contrast between el imperfecto y el pretérito. Why do we use another past tense? That's the question we want to answer here. When do we use it, and why is it important, and why would we not just use the preterite for each past tense moment? We're going to go into that right now, but first let's talk about how we conjugate el imperfecto, the imperfect. It's actually really simple, okay? The good thing about the imperfect is that it doesn't have as many irregulars as the preterite, so it's pretty easy to kind of master. These are the regular endings. So for AR verbs, we have aba, abas, aba, abamos, abais, aban. Okay? So here is an example. If I want the, let's say, verb hablar, it's always one that we use. Not that. I want the text color. Let's just do this example. So hablar would go to what? First, we would take off the ending of hablar and we'd put the new ending, hablaba, hablabas, hablaba. Interesting thing here. The ella y usted form and the nosotros, or excuse me, and the yo form are both hablaba. And this is kind of a tough one here. Hablábamos, hablabais, y hablaban. So it's a funny way of, or it's a kind of funny sounding word. Hablaba, hablabas, hablaba, hablábamos, hablabais, hablaban. Then ER and IR, just like in the preterite, have the same endings. Okay, the same endings, both for ER and IR. So a verb like comer and a verb like vivir would both conjugate with the same endings. So these are the endings. Every single one of them has an accent, so keep that in mind. Ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, ian. So if I have, for example, comer, comía, comías, comía, comíamos, comíais, y comían. So again, these are the regular conjugations, okay? Let's ignore all of these because they're spelled right to us, okay? And what we're doing is basically conjugating, again, these regular verbs, AR verbs. Hablaba, hablabas, hablaba, hablábamos, hablabais, hablaban. One of the fun ones to say is trabajar would be trabajaba, trabajabas, etc. Then we have ER and IR verbs. Ia, ias, ia. So a verb like comer would be comía, comías, comía, comíamos, comíais, comían. Okay, these are regular verbs in the imperfect. Okay. Now let's talk about irregulars. Good thing about the imperfect, el imperfecto, is that we only have 3 irregulars. Think about that. Only 3. In the preterite we have many more. Here we only have 3. Okay. So ir, the verb ir, to go, is iba, ibas, iba, íbamos, with an accent right here, íbamos, ibais, iban, ser, era, eras, era, éramos, erais, eran. Okay? Look at the accents, only on the nosotros forms here. Ver is kind of irregular. I would say it's not like the others, because it has the same endings, right? But basically what it's saying is that normally if we were conjugating ver, it would be via, right? But what we're doing is we're keeping the E, right? And we're making it veía. Look at all the accents here. Veías, veía, veíamos, veíais, veían. Okay? So ver, ir, ser are all irregular, and these are the only 3 that you need to know. So it's a plus when we're dealing with the imperfect. Usos. Okay, so when do we use the imperfect? This is really the kind of more complicated concept. We use the preterite when we talk about things that we did, right? Things that happened, okay? For example, yo fui al restaurante y yo comí espaguetis con pollo. Or yo vi la película anoche. Things that were completed, things that were done. Just very specific actions done in the past. The imperfect, and we're going to go over this more in class, has to do with more of the imprecise stuff that goes on in the past, right? Things that you were doing, right? So I was eating would be comía, right? Things that you used to do, things that you could talk about when you were younger that you used to do. Let's say I used to play baseball. Yo jugaba al béisbol, right? I used to play. General description. So let's say instead of saying it rained, I want to say it was raining. I would say instead of llovió, it would be llovía. Okay? And then time. If I want to give description in the past about a certain time, I want to say, for example, it was 10 o'clock. Eran las 10. Eran, right? So if I want to say it was, eran las 10 de la mañana o de la noche. Then edad. When you want to say how old you were, for example. Yo tenía 15 años cuando fui a España por primera vez. Okay, so think about this. If the preterite is what was done or what happened, the imperfect is everything else. It's the description. It's the imprecise, things that were happening, things that used to happen. General description, time, and your age, right? So think about that. It's really important to keep in mind these uses. Okay, so if nothing, we'll get the conjugation down. Regular AR verbs: aba, abas, aba, abamos, abais, aban. Then ER-IR verbs: ia, ias, ia, íamos, iais, ian. Then irregulars: ir, ser, y ver. Iba, perdón, ibas, iba, íbamos, ibais, iban. Please pause wherever you need. Era, eras, era. Éramos, erais, eran for ser. Veía, veías, veía. Veíamos, veíais, veían. And then lastly, what you were doing, what you used to do, general description, the time, and also your age in the past. So, this is the Imperfecto. Please come into class tomorrow with any questions that you might have about el Imperfecto. Y bueno, nos vemos. Adiós.